You see, when you look in that mirror and you no longer see yourself, that's when you got to start asking your question. Have you become a Dr. Jekyll and a Mr. Hyde? One day you're one thing, the next day you're something else. And so what happens is that Peter, Paul's buddy, he's a Gentile, and watch this. And he's using the Gentile, Peter, to deal with the Jews. Don't you find that paradox? He's using a Jew, Paul, to deal with the Gentiles. He's using a Gentile, Peter, to deal with the Jews. Because God had a master plan that's way beyond what Paul and Peter can understand, because God is saying, look, I'm yoking the Jew and the Gentile. There's no longer going to be a separation. God's saying, I'm yoking them together in such a way, you may not be, see, remember, God has a panoramic view. God sees the past, present, and future simultaneously. We can only deal with the present and the past. So God knows where it's going. He's saying, I'm using different individuals from different cultures to bring different groups together. And all that nonsense that they're dealing with is not important to me. As a matter of fact, as Mr. Lucas always said, it doesn't make good nonsense. You ever find yourself dealing with something that don't even make good nonsense? Think about that. It don't even make good nonsense and you're still dealing with it. So here these jokers, they're dealing with something. Paul has introduced them to a living Christ. Paul has introduced them to eternity. And they go back to doing the same old things they were always doing. Sound like you and me? Yeah. So what happens is that the Judaizers are using the religion and the rituals to sort of control the people. Paul is using the good news and spreading the good news to free the people. And his buddy, who's the head of the church, who's left there, always a buddy that always do something to cause you a problem. His buddy Peter, who's the real Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. One day he's one way, another day he's another way. He decides that, hey, while Paul's gone, man, I'm going to join in with the Judaizers. Them guys have power. Those guys get the best meals. They get the best theater tickets. They get to hang around with the best people. So I'm going to deal with this stuff that Paul's dealing with. I want the best food. I want the best tickets. I want to be able to go where I want to go. So I'm going to go along with the Judaizers. I'm going to help them put everything in place. But hey, bro, y'all, watch out for that cat Paul, because when he's coming, let me know so I can pretend to be what I need to be now. Ever found yourself doing that? With one group, you act one way. With another group, you act another way. When you're with this person, you say one thing. When you're with that person, you say another. Look in the mirror and ask yourself about the hypocrisy. And ask yourself, are you the real McCoy? Is there any authenticity to you? Or have you become a schizophrenic individual, not knowing who and what you are, because you've become so many actors on a stage, you don't even remember that you're acting anymore?
Thanks for being with us today. We want to remind you, if you need intercessory prayer, Bethesda's House of Prayer Prayer Ministry does its intercessory prayer every Friday at 12 p.m. We encourage you to participate. You can dial in at 1-563-999-1808. Join us and be filled by the Holy Spirit.